Well, look what we've got here. A bloody great game of cricket shaping up. Day 4 is going to be enormous. Day 3, not so much high drama per se, but a day where you can feel the ebbs and the flows of Test cricket rushing through your body. The tension, the release, and you can't escape the fact that the next 6 sessions are going to dictate your entire mood and personality. That's what we're seeing here. We still got a 99. We still got a bag. We still got some villainy. We got some drops. We got some raindrops. But what we've got is the start of a fantastic series, Pezza, and it's shaping up just nicely. And someone is going to fuck it up.
Yeah, I don't trust it. Yeah, everything's poised. Everything's set up. Everyone has cancelled the other out.
Yeah.
You know, the last 3 days have been a waste of time.
Yep.
Frankly.
Yep.
Everything is even. It's going to be a tie. You know? Let's move on.
Yeah. Kissing your sister stuff.
They keep saying that a draw is like kissing your sister.
Yeah.
Look into that.
The current state of play is that India lead by 96 runs. They've got 8 wickets still in the hutch. There's 2 days to play, of course. It's going to be a straight shootout. And you know what else is going to be a shootout? Us on stage. Live in the UK, I guess. I mean, that's sort of it's a bit of a long draw to bow, long bow to draw. That's right. 2 shows there. Ticket link in the description. Will be in the UK for the 2nd and 3rd tests, of course, as well. We'll be reporting from the ground, reporting as well. We will be reporting.
Correspondents. We're cricket correspondents.
Yeah, that's right. Birmingham Town Hall, July 3 with Jimmy Anderson. London, July 13 with Stuart Broad. Tickets at greycricketer.com or in the link in the description below of this show. Let's talk about Harry Brook, Pezza, 99. Okay. Quarter for no ball at the end of day 2 on a 0. Dropped by Rishabh on 48. Dropped by Jaiswal on 82. So he's 3 for 99. Sure, okay, let's get that out of the way. He is a great watch, Harry Brook. He is a great watch. There's aggression, there's invention, there's power, there's some touch, a bit of chaos, a bit of mimicry of there was a moment here we did the flick roll thing a la punt off Jadeja when he was on about 60, I suppose. There'll be a percentage of Indian fans as well that will hate Harry Brook because he played in the IPL for Sunrisers one season. He scored 100 and then did nothing for the rest of that season. And then he was purchased.
And that's the most he's done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. And then he twice pulled out of the IPL draft after being purchased. So there'll be some people that'll be like, we hate this guy. He has rejected us. Now, none of that matters in the context of the things that actually matter, like in my opinion, Test cricket runs.
Yeah.
That's gonna piss people off. But this was, it was 3 for, but it was bloody good to watch.
At this point, is anyone's 100 or near 100, like, it's rarer than not that it's chanceless. You know what I mean? Like, it's just generally speaking, you're probably going to get dropped.
Yeah.
You know? Especially with this Indian side as well.
There's a couple of chances knocking about.
But, he's, in terms of a watch, he's Mount Rushmore water cooler stuff, at least among, like, modern players at the moment. Like, he's kind of like KP a little bit. The cleanliness of the strike on the ball, and it's making classical enough shapes for me to enjoy it in an Anglo level. But
yeah, of course.
And I like, and he's doing it at Headingley, and so there's a natural symbiosis with commentators as well, going, he's doing this at home, he is a classic Yorkshireman as well, Harry. I don't quite know what that means, and I don't want to guess, because all of my guesses are going to be stereotypes, and they're going to be negative stereotypes. I'm just watching a guy who he looks to have more time than everybody else. The power is incredible. He's completely unruffled, but I'm not sure if that's because he has super levels of composure or is a Yorkshireman. I don't know what that is. He obviously the way you get him out is to bump him. Good luck for the Ashes and stuff. But it's amazing. I've loved watching Harry Brook for years now, and I feel like the numbers he's putting up are incredible, and he's at a phase of his career where he's just getting started. Yeah. There's a lot of guys doing, look, I'm sorry to bring this back to Australia, but there's a lot of guys around Cameron Green's age doing stuff that is at the reputation that Cameron Green has. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Green doesn't quite have the numbers to go with it. Brook's one of these guys.
So you mentioned KP because I had a similar thought in that he has played 25 tests and he's averaging 58. He's 26 years old. It's just an unbelievable start to a test career. I think it's eight test hundreds after 25 tests. You know, I can't think of maybe in our lifetimes anyway, where like an English guy has come into a batter who's come into the setup and done so well so quickly. He's obviously just taken over the ODI duties as captain.
3 formats.
Just when he's at the crease, it is. It's like can't take your eyes off it. It's you know, from an Australian perspective, it's a bit like Travis Head when he gets going. You know, both guys bat 5, of course. So there's some comparisons there, but. You know, like in comparison, Thief of Joy kind of gear, but it is electric to watch. So like at the end of day 2, when Bumrah is bowling that final over, which goes for 35 minutes because of the no balls, etc. You know, the last ball of the day is a searing bumper, and it's like, oh my God, this is electric. And then Krishna bowls the first over to him afterwards, and it's like a half tracker, cut for 4, and then he just fucking pumps over mid-wicket.
That shot over mid-wicket.
That was powerful. That was a statement shot.
That was hot.
But like, even though he was, you know, fortunate in this innings with the no ball and the drop catches, etc., he will still feel very unlucky, and he'll feel aggrieved by picking out fine leg off Krishna's, short ball.
We'll never know, really, because Ollie Pope was asked about it after the day's play, and he said and this is in the Guardian, for all his disappointment, his teammate would not regret his choice of shot at that crucial moment. Right, so you say he might feel unlucky, but he won't regret the shot.
He won't regret it.
He was pretty gutted to get out, but he plays that shot pretty well. Pope said, I think he'd look to either keep it down or hit it for 6 next time. So again, in this era, this approach, this movement of this particular team, that's exactly the shot he wanted to play at that time. Yep. So. Yeah, and no mistakes made.
And isn't cricket a beautiful thing where you can have all those chances and maybe get some luck on the way to a score, but then be unlucky, desperately unlucky as well in that moment. So you know, Jamie Smith and Wokes kept the score moving. It looked like they'd have a lead at one point, England, but then just fell 6 runs short. Wokes has gone past 2,000 Test runs. Might be the greatest English player at home of all time. It's just an unbelievable record, and seems like an absolutely shocking bloke as well, to boot.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk about Bumrah and the rest. So India have put down 6 catches, wicket up and no ball as well, of course. They've managed to score the lowest ever total with 3 guys scoring hundreds in Test history. Bumrah has 5 for 83 versus 5 for 382 for the rest. This is a prize-winning stallion in a stable of Shetland ponies, and it still feels like it's 50-50 in the game, really. You can make a case for either side, of course, and a draw seems to be in play as well. But there has been, in this game so far, there has been brilliance and then there's been passengers. And maybe that's what cricket is a lot of the time. But it seems so pronounced at the moment where 3 great hundreds in the first innings. Bumrah does this amazing thing which has like expectations now because he comes into the series as the best bowler in the world. And it's still like, maybe they'll win.
Oh, and the contrast between both teams is incredible as well. Like England essentially make India's total, and they only have like 1 centurion, and it's a baby 100, which is what we call it now. And that was one of the issues with Ollie Pope's innings as well. Obviously, freak runs Hyderabad, soft runs Zimbabwe, and it's a baby 100 against India. But it's 1 baby 100, and then but everybody else is playing a role, and they essentially get the same. They get their way there. They've shared it around with the wickets as well, England, and apart from 1 or 2 drops, I know Duckett dropped Sias and not costly, but have held on to their catches okay. Whereas India is like just a couple of throbbers have boosted them massively, and everybody else is threes.
Yep.
And the game's pretty even in that sense. And I just feel like India is going to be like, I'm still annoyed on behalf of India in this situation because some of the reasons that they're not well ahead in this game are reasonably controllable, like 6 drop catches. You know, although. Having said that, when Duckett dropped the catch off Sias, I started hearing a lot of English commentators saying that it's quite hard to see it Headingley.
It's a hard catching ground.
Now that's not, look, maybe I wasn't paying attention. There's a high chance I wasn't paying attention. I just felt like it's the first time I've heard the commentators start. Stuart Broad in there, Broady, mate of the show, obviously, and live show. Yeah. But I was just like, it's a hard seeing ground. It's like just not hearing that with 6 Indian drop catches. But maybe that did happen, but I'm frustrated on behalf of India because there's a couple of areas that are doable that have cost them, and then on top of the tail, not wagging at all. Even though Bumrah is just like Bumrah's taken a completely forgettable fifer that like in time when kids look through books of his like statistics, just like we used to look at Bradman like as kids. Like, like I'm upset if he hasn't made a big 100 or a daddy. Like it's just 5 for 83 Bumrah. Okay, that's just what he does. Yeah. That's what he has to do.
I guess he turned up that day to the ground. Yeah.
So I agree with you. I also noted that Bumrah said after the game, and again I haven't picked this up, but Headingley has a slope too.
Does it?
Yeah, Headingley's got a slope.
Oh,
so
okay.
he said he said the slope at Headingley can be hard for visiting players to deal with, just with no balls and stuff. Mostly in India, we're used to playing on simple flat grounds.
1-0 India.
That are not slopey. Yeah. One side is up, one side is down. It's a little tricky sometimes. You start from plays up high, then it goes steep and you go back up. So it can be difficult as a bowler to find rhythm.
Yeah, okay.
So I want that from Bumrah too. I like hearing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it really feels like as it was with Rabada and Markram. It really feels like Bumrah's going to need another 6 for India to get this done.
Yeah, I mean, so Duckett was dropped on 15, makes 62. Pope was dropped on, I think, 48, makes 106. Brook out of the no ball, of course, makes on 0, makes 99.
I don't count no ball. I just think
he just cheated.
Yeah, he mightn't have gotten that advantage if he didn't overstep.
Right.
Cheat.
And so the thing is about, Bumrah has like contributed to those mistakes as well, right? Despite him being fantastic.
Yeah.
So, but like, so it's his 14th Test fifer. I don't think that we've seen anyone better than this guy.
No.
And, like we've seen it a couple of times in Australia ahead of the last summer, but like when he was here 6 months ago, that was a new level, right? On favourable wickets for the seamers as how Australia wants to play these days. But I actually don't see like the rest of the Indian attack being necessarily any worse than what India have produced before, right? So I think you're just seeing perhaps the best ever, though of course there's recency bias because, anyone playing currently is always going to be, is this guy the best ever? But so there's going to be some recency bias in that. But perhaps at least that this is one of the highest highs a seam bowler has ever had. Because you need like the entirety of someone's career before you can judge where they rank, right? So, but I mean, plus the decks in England are incredibly flat, how England wants to play, of course. So you think about the last few years under the new regime of Stokes and McCullum, Norkia, Rabada, Jansen, Cummins, Stark, Boland, Hazelwood, and Lyon at different times, Bolt, Southey, Jamieson, Wagner, all these guys have been pumped in England at different times, right? So the fact that Bumrah is probably the only guy, after one innings, it should be said, hasn't done that. I think it's maybe a little unfair to say that the rest of the Indian attack is just absolute pump. So
they have been pumped, though.
But then I look at Shardul Thakur and I was like, now he's bowled 6 overs in the game.
Why is it playing?
I don't know why he's playing.
Is he picked up an injury?
It might be that, yeah. Because he's batting at 8. He played a shot that really pissed off Gambier just before lunch on day 2. Yeah.
Like, why isn't Nitish Kumar already playing? If you get, like Nick, he can bowl 6 overs or whatever.
Right, and he batted really nicely in Australia as well. Now, Kuldeep Yadav, like different conditions, of course, but Kuldeep Yadav was so excellent in India. He's in the squad, Kuldeep Yadav. And I'm looking at Jadeja as well. He's 36. Like the series at home against India, it wasn't that effective at home. He wasn't particularly effective in Australia. You're probably looking at the end of a great career for Jadeja as well. So, like it's...
You're calling time on Jadeja.
I don't know, man. I just he's been one of the great players of this generation, right? But it certainly hasn't been as high as what it has been. But that's also because he's 36, and he's played a lot of cricket in all formats. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell if it's true that they've been absolute pump or if it's everyone gets pumped in England under the current circumstances. Anyway, so let's talk about the last thing. Is shootout. It's a straight shootout. First thing to point out, I would say, is that Stokes will feel validated for bowling at the toss. India lead by 96, but I suggest that England will feel like they hold all the cards.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a testament to how they play, to be honest. I mean, so can India, you think about how India win the game, can India score enough runs on day 4 and is one day enough time for them to take 10 wickets? Don't know.
Well, yeah, I feel dirty because I feel like the brainwashing of Bazball has been successful on me because I think that India's going to need fucking heaps for to stop England doing it. Like I think also traumatised by what Stokes did to us at Headingley. But yeah, all the numbers seem to say that batting gets easier at Headingley. So I just think India's going to be frustrated. They've had the better of the conditions, and England has managed to stay with them. And the better of the conditions and those elements of luck, they don't always stay with you in cricket. Of course. I mean, the numbers show that India's still in it. I just think that the way they get it done, India, is to probably... Maybe you have to exploit the ego of Bazball and hopefully bat into the 5th day if it's getting easier. Put enough time pressure on England to test their ego around, going for as many as possible with as little time as possible. You know, you have Stokes and McCullum in there going, no, we can do this. You know, it's 7 and over or whatever it is, and maybe that's the way to get it done. You know, you minimise the amount Bumrah can bowl, so you just get the most out of him. Maybe give yourself, I don't know, you probably don't get the 2 new balls, but I don't know. Like, and I guess that's probably a negative way to think about it. But I feel like England have shown they can stay with India even when the conditions are against them. All of their players are contributing in one way or another, and India they've had windows in this game to take it out of sight, and they haven't managed to do it. So I hope it's a tie.
I'll put this to you as well. So the back-to-back tests in this series are the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th and 5th. So there's 8 days between day ones of the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th and 5th. So me being a physio now and Jasprit Bumrah's personal doctor, physician, the test Bumrah you'd think would be unlikely to play then as the 3rd and the 5th, where there's a full week between those test matches. It's between the 2nd and 3rd and the 3rd and the 4th. So there's 13 days there between day one. So I don't know what I'm talking about, obviously, but it just seems to make sense that, he would miss those games where there's more time in between test matches. So I'm not sure what that means of like how much they want to bowl him, because he bowled 24 overs in this game. Like, there's obviously a workload issue, but it does feel like unless he's taken 6, maybe 7, it's like,
Yeah. I reckon he's going to play 4 tests and maybe 5. Yeah, I know they say 3. Well, like that. They're going to need him every test, and then they'll pick him, and then his body will break down with and let's hope it's not bad. It's just what happened in Australia as well. They're like, sorry, the Stallion's got to play. How can I leave it out?
He averages 19.
He's too old.
Of course. And also just want to pick up that it's all to play for in the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, although Sonny Gavaskar wants that reversed.
Yes.
Which is a really important thing to focus on, I think. All right, let's do AsKTGC. Please, Chucky. Chucky, nice to have you back on the tools, mate, by the way. Welcome back.
Great to have you back, Chucky.
Great to have you back, mate. Who's more crow's feet when chatting shit, Siraj or Ollie Robertson? It's a good question. It's a good question. You know, a couple of competitors like to get into the game. Siraj had a real pop at Harry Brook before Brook popped him back over his head a couple of times. I think...
It's Ollie Robinson for me.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen Siraj bowl off spin in speed dealers.
No, we haven't.
To Siraj's credit.
Yeah.
That's and there's the social content and everything. Like Siraj was made an honourable constable, like in Hyderabad. So,
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, Ollie Robinson can't say that.
No.
So
no.
Yeah. I think there's more crow's feet for me with Ollie Robinson chatting shit.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. All right, next one, Chucky, please. And get in your AsKTGCs in the comments below as well if you fancy it. Day 6 of asking when we're getting Cummins' actual bathwater soap. I think this is in relation to Sydney Sweeney released a soap of her bathwater. And so what that commenter is looking for is Cummins' bathwater soap.
Well, Cummings, I think.
Cummings, okay. Well,
Cummings.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
Not sure if there's a hole in the soap, but
Is that, would you into that? Is that something?
I mean, maybe for merch. Yeah.
Actual bathwater soap. Because I thought that was a play on like Cummings throwing the baby out with the bathwater following the World Test Championship.
Oh, I see. I see.
But this is a Sydney Sweeney equivalent.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sydney Sweeney, all well and good. Where's Pat Cummings' bathwater coming from? It's an interesting question.
And like day 6 of asking us.
I guess
is
so.
it
I
asking us?
just haven't seen it. I must have missed that one.
Yeah. Wait. So this person, Raffaele7258, just wakes up every morning, jumps on the old comments there. TGC. Like day 3 of asking.
Yeah.
Like just asking us when we're getting Cummings' actual bathwater soap.
Yep. Yep. We're gonna ask him.
Not you can imagine just going to text him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, Raffaele7258 wants to know.
G'day, Pat. Any baths recently?
Yeah.
And what'd you do with the water, mate?
Like he's like, what are you talking about? Like what Sydney Sweeney's got.
Yeah.
The actual Yeah, you're going to release that?
Yeah, that'd be a way to win the friendship, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Well, that'd be one way. There's other ways.
There's a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah,
That'll do it pretty quickly.
Well, we'll be right back here from the studio for day 4, reviewing what's going to happen. Day 4, it feels enormous. It feels enormous.
And feels too serious.
It feels a bit too serious and feels significant,
Yeah.
given Bumrah's impact on the series and how much he'll play, etc. So I don't know what's going to happen, and neither do you, but edgy seat stuff. And I tell you what really helps, the fact that our team's not playing. See you guys tomorrow. Cheers.